What's the worst thing you have ever done? As a kid, I got bullied a lot. I was depressed and wanted to take my life at age 13. So I kind of hoped he'd end me. We'll call him Kyle. Kyle was probably mentally unbalanced. He was a skinny kid who wore half sleeves, had pinhole pupils, and messed up hair. Wiry dude, too. We had a big ox-like guy who didn't mind hurting kids, but wasn't self-motivated, so he usually did so at the bequest of others. Kyle got Ox to wail on me a few times, or he held me down while Kyle or one of Kyle's toadies wailed on me. I got hurt a few times, and as I was neglected at home, nobody gave a crap. I just learned to heal, avoid them, or hide until they went home. One day it occurred to me that Kyle never got me alone. I pointed this out to him. He told me he'd end me. I said he didn't have the brains or strength to do it alone. Ox would do it or whatever, because he was weak. Kyle got this look in his eye that let me know I hit my mark. For the next few encounters, I'd say, I see you with Ox. Does Ox know you won't fight me alone? Kyle acted like he didn't care at first, but I could tell it got to him. Kept telling me to shut up, and you're done if I ever get you alone. Even Ox started to lose his spirit, only half hurting me with this confused look on his face. You always do what Kyle asks you to do? You ever thought about hurting him? Ox didn't have answers for that, but it gave him pause. Soon, Ox stopped hanging around Kyle, and every time I saw Kyle, I'd say, alone, Kyle, alone, and he got madder and madder. It was unhinging him. He started to look like he was going to seriously end me, but he was all talk, and I grew confident. Soon, just mouthing, alone, to him got him riled up. I'd also give him long stares at lunchtime, until he would start screaming at me, and when people looked back at me, I was looking out the window nonchalantly. At some point, he had been calling me gay. I finally asked him what that meant, and he didn't have a decent answer. I told him what it meant and said he liked doing it up the butt. Oh, this escalated his rage. I mean, he went from unhinged to hanging by a thread. He started getting a tick in his eye and started pulling at his own arm hair in an OCD reaction. One day, in science class, he was giving me some lip service because he had a supportive buddy with him. At some point, he started throwing paper wads at me. I looked back at him, mouthed, alone, and blew him a silent kiss that ended with a seductive lip lick. He snapped. He didn't just snap, he turned into some wild animal and launched himself at me, screaming some kind of incoherent shrieking like a kid being crushed in a combine. He managed to get within a foot of me, scrambling over desks and throwing everything aside like an enraged baboon before the teacher grabbed him. He stared screeching and clawing at the teacher's face. Luckily the teacher was very tall and had better leverage. It's okay, Kyle, it's okay. Let's just go outside in the hallway so you can calm down, the teacher said, and had to carry Kyle's skinny self away like a giant flapping fish. The door closed. We heard more screaming, banging against lockers, and the teacher calling for help. We heard more voices. Some of them were saying, "Oh my God, oh my God." A teacher came in, pale, and told us all to stay in our seats. She closed the door and witnessed the spectacle from the skinny door window. Once in a while, more incoherent shrieking. Minutes later, 2 cop cars and an ambulance drove up. All us kids looked out the window and saw some people cart Kyle away strapped down tightly to a gurney. He was now crying and wailing, like the tail end of a complete nervous breakdown. He was screaming, "I'm gonna end you, I swear. You better watch what is coming to you, watch your back you dimwit," but seemed to be shouting at no one in particular. He had screamed so much, he had become hoarse by this point, and it was really alarming. No one ever brought it up to me because everyone remembered Kyle attacked a teacher. I never got asked about it as I was pretty anonymous at the time, and anyone who didn't know the backstory would have thought I was no more a victim than the other kids tossed aside as Kyle made his way towards me. Never saw Kyle again. Rumor was he was taken to a mental hospital and stayed there for quite some time.